Optimal Fitness Systems Module 3, Stabilization, which sometimes referred to as balance. Now, it's commonly thought of as balance as being a static thing, where you're kind of holding, for example, and you have one foot up and your knees back, and we consider that as balance. But there's also dynamic balance, which is everything we do functional. When we're walking, that's literally a series of losing your balance and regaining your balance. So neuromuscular stabilization or balance, I may say them here and there throughout, but it's all part of the same thing. So balance training, again, can start from doing something as simple as standing on one foot, or also can go into more of an active movement such as a front lunge. That's a balance type of activity. So very crucial for people just getting into the program to start off after corrective exercise, to start off with more stabilization training to help with stability of the joints, helps with force production, and the routing of force. So if you think of force as everything we do is about moving force throughout our body. It starts from the core. If you think of the core as the genesis of force production, that's where it all starts. And what it does is it looks for the biggest area of mass, which is the planet, basically. So force starts from the core, works its way down through our legs, bounces off the ground-based reaction forces, comes back up through our legs, through the core, and then to wherever we want to present it. For example, if you're a pitcher and you go throw that ball, the force starts from the core, goes down through the legs, bounces off the ground-based reaction forces, comes back up through the leg, through the core, out your hand, and is presented in that 92-mile-an-hour fastball. However, if there's any instability throughout that kinetic chain, we have what's called force leaks. So as that force starts here and it's coming down through the leg, if there's instability, we're losing some of that force. So by the time that force gets back up to here into the hand, that ball is only going to be 70 miles per hour, depending. So very important to have that good stability throughout the entire kinetic chain, starting at the core. And with that excessive movement, you have tissue overload, you have less mechanical efficiency. And another example, I like to use my examples for my clients, and it kind of gives them a better idea of where I'm coming from. If you look at an unstable environment and producing force, there's an example I read years ago and I still use to this day, is about having the rowboat, trying to shoot a rowboat, a cannon from a rowboat. Perfect example, right? So if you have a rowboat and it's in that water and there's no stability there, and now you're going to try to shoot a cannon from that rowboat, what's going to happen? For one, the ball isn't going to go too far. For two, that cannon's just going to shatter. You want to take that cannon, put it on nice solid ground, and boom, now you have a good distance with that ball. And so if you have somebody who's going to the gym and they're doing 400-pound squats, but they still have that instability, think about what they're doing. They're trying to shoot cannons from a rowboat. A lot of them have weak core. They have them do a push-up on a stability ball and they're sagging like this. Okay, you want to make sure they have a good solid foundation to shoot those cannons from. So balance training, stabilization training, very important. And when you get into describing to your clients, if you're referring to as balance, you would want to differentiate static versus dynamic balance, because most people, when you say balance, are simply going to think, oh, he's just going to have me standing there for 20 minutes, which is always a great place to start. You have to pick your battles, so to speak, and see how much stability they have, and you can work your way up. You can progress based on their abilities. Okay, so that's stabilization training. Those are the key things to focus on, the educational part, as well as what to teach your clients, so they're more inclined to say, yeah, I definitely want some of that. So corrective exercise first, correct those movement impairments, and then we're going to go on to the balance type of stuff to make sure we have that good force production and that generating of force going down through the kinetic chain, so we don't have those force leaks, so then we have better performance. Okay, so that's it. Let's move on to the exercises.